Imagine a player with the court vision of a point guard, the shooting touch of a forward, and the strength and size to match the league's biggest centers. That was Arvydas Sabonis, arguably one of the most unique and gifted basketball players the world has ever seen. But the real question is, just how good was Arvydas Sabonis actually? And could he have been one of the NBA's all-time greats if he hadn't arrived so late in the league? Sabonis' story begins in the Soviet Union, where his basketball skills were evident from a young age. By the time he was in his early 20s, Sabonis was a basketball prodigy, standing over 7 feet tall, with an arsenal of skills that left coaches and fans in awe. This was a man who could throw no-look passes with pinpoint precision, hit three-pointers with ease, and dominate the paint with sheer power. In a sport where big men were often limited to the low post, Sabonis was breaking the mold, showcasing a skill set that was decades ahead of its time. In the 1980s, Sabonis dominated European basketball, leading the Soviet Union to gold in the 1982 FIBA World Championship and winning MVP honors at the 1985 European Championship. But as much as fans in Europe marveled at his talents, scouts in the NBA were even more intrigued. In 1986, the Portland Trail Blazers selected Sabonis in the draft, hopeful they could bring this European sensation to the United States. But political tensions during the Cold War meant that Sabonis was not allowed to leave the Soviet Union to play in the NBA. Sabonis remained in Europe, where he continued to dazzle fans and build his legend. Unfortunately, while Sabonis was racking up accolades, he was also dealing with mounting injuries. By his mid-20s, Sabonis had endured multiple Achilles tears and several knee injuries. These injuries took a toll on his body, affecting his mobility and agility. But Sabonis was so talented that even playing on injured legs, he could dominate opponents. His basketball IQ, strength, and shooting touch remained intact, and he continued to shine on the international stage, notably helping the Soviet Union defeat the United States in the 1988 Olympics, a feat that sent shockwaves through the basketball world. In 1995, at the age of 30 and well past his prime, Sabonis finally joined the NBA with the Portland Trail Blazers. Many American fans wondered if this late-career Sabonis could live up to the hype. What they saw was a player who, even on limited legs, was still capable of doing things most big men couldn't dream of. Sabonis quickly made an impact, averaging 14.5 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks in his rookie season. He was 30 years old and playing on 2 legs that were far from their peak condition. Yet he managed to make an immediate difference in the NBA. At his best, Sabonis was a passing wizard. His court vision was legendary, and he could spot cutters and open shooters with ease, delivering behind the back or over-the-shoulder passes that looked more like something a guard would pull off than a 7'3" center. He had a knack for setting up teammates, often orchestrating plays from the high post where he could read the defense and find the open man. Sabonis' passing ability brought a whole new level of offense to Portland, and his teammates benefited immensely from his unselfish, intelligent play. But Sabonis wasn't just a playmaker. He could score from anywhere on the court. His jump shot was smooth, and he had three-point range, a rarity for a big man in the 1990s. On the inside, Sabonis was a beast. He had a variety of post moves, a soft touch around the rim, and he could muscle through defenders with sheer strength. Despite his limited mobility, Sabonis was a powerful force in the paint, using his wide frame to establish position and his shooting touch to finish plays. He also had an impressive basketball IQ, which helped him outsmart opponents even when he couldn't outquick them. Defensively, Sabonis wasn't as dominant as he might have been in his younger years. The injuries had slowed him down, making it difficult to guard more athletic centers like Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon. But even with his limitations, Sabonis used his size and strength to make a difference on the boards and protect the paint. His understanding of positioning allowed him to grab rebounds and disrupt plays, making him a valuable defensive presence for Portland. Despite his impressive NBA career, there's always been a lingering question. Just how good could Sabonis have been if he'd arrived healthy and in his prime? Those who saw Sabonis in the 1980s believe he could have been one of the NBA's all-time great centers, right up there with the likes of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton. His versatility, basketball IQ, and unique skill set could have transformed an NBA team. and he would likely have been a perennial all-star and a regular MVP contender. The injuries and delayed entry robbed NBA fans of seeing the full potential of Arvydas Sabonis, but the flashes he showed in Portland still left an indelible mark on the game. In the end, Sabonis' impact goes beyond stats and accolades. He was one of the first players to show that big men could be more than just rim protectors and post scorers. He paved the way for the modern skilled big man, influencing players like Dirk Nowitzki, Nikola Jokic, and Pau Gasol. Sabonis' game was a glimpse into the future of basketball, a future where centers could shoot, pass, and play like gods. His legacy lives on in every big man who breaks the traditional mold, reminding us that talent and intelligence can shine through, even when the body has its limits. So, how good was Arvydas Sabonis actually? Even with all the obstacles, injuries, and years lost to politics, Sabonis was remarkable. A player so skilled and versatile that he could adapt his game and still excel in the NBA at an age and condition that would have sidelined most. Sabonis may be one of the biggest what-ifs in basketball history, but he also remains one of its brightest and most unique stars. A player who, even on broken legs, was good enough to challenge the NBA's best and leave fans wondering what might have been.